The Royal Strike dungeon can be found in Bragma. Right here. That's the Royal Strike dungeon. To get any of the key to the Royal Strike dungeon, simply attack any of the Striks in the surrounding area. First we will be taking a look at the mobs you will be facing through the dungeon. After that we will be looking at the dodge and lock mechanic of the dungeon. The first two mobs we will be looking at are the most common mobs in the dungeon. Both of them got the same ability, except they both got one special ability. One of them can buff his allies with 2 action points, the other can heal his allies. They can also summon Giant Egg. After 2 turns, Giant Egg will hatch and spawn an enemy. Strike on guard is the weakest enemy and only has 1 attack. I will now explain how the dodge and lock mechanic works. For every 1 dodge you gain 0.5% chance to dodge. For every 1 lock you gain 0.5% chance to lock the enemy. As an example, you can see if you have 1 lock you have 0.5 chance to lock. If you have 10 lock you have 5% chance to lock. If you have 100 lock you have 50% chance to lock. You will also have to account for the basic lock and dodge chance. So both if you and your enemy has 0 lock and dodge, you will have 50% chance to lock the enemy and the enemy will have 50% chance to dodge you. So to give you a better understanding on how this works, I will now give you a little demonstration. So if your enemy got 100 dodge and you got 50 lock, your enemy will have increased his chance to dodge with 50%, and you will increase your chance to lock with 25%. Now you need to minus your lock against the enemy's dodge. Your lock is 50 and the enemy's dodge is 100. That equals 50 dodge to the enemy. So the enemy now got 25% chance to dodge. Now minus 25% to your lock and plus 20% to the enemy's dodge. So now your chance to lock is 25% and the enemy's chance to dodge is 75%. However, bear in mind that the maximum chance to lock and dodge is 95. So that means you always at least got 5% chance to lock and dodge. Now that we know how lock and dodge work, let's get to the mechanic of the dungeon. All the big Strich has a buff named dashing speed, 30% chance to dodge an incoming attack. However, if a player manages to hit the Strich, he will gain lock. Each time a player manages to hit a Strich, he will gain a buff named Strich hit, with increase his lock. If a player manages to lock a Strich, the Strich will gain the debuff play don't dodge. The player will also gain a buff on lock, 3 action points and 25% more damage. Whenever a Strich gets below 10 to 20%, it will lose his head and gain this debuff. You will gain the debuff Strich droppings if you move on this cell block. First room you'll be facing 2 small enemies and 4 medium enemies. Second room you'll be facing 2 small enemies and 6 medium enemies. The boss Royal Strich. I would highly recommend that you try to lock the boss, as you will lose 300 resist to all elements. He will also summon Giant Eggs, however the Giant Eggs he spawned will be unbreakable. The third and final room you will be facing 1 small enemy, 6 medium enemies and the boss.